働くにたくさんの選択肢を This Japanese ad, this Japanese marketing copy changed my life. Okay, maybe not to that level, but I did save this a while ago. It's pretty crumpled, but I did save this a while ago because I'm working in marketing, digital marketing here in Japan, and I write a lot of marketing copy in Japanese, a lot of messaging, social media posts, things like that in Japanese. And this to me was an example of a perfect, an ad, a Japanese ad that's almost impossible to translate into English. If I tried to directly translate this, it would be like working in many options for. Working in many options for. And the reason why this is unique in Japanese is because it ends, both of these lines end in particles, ni and o. And what this does is it pushes the reader to make assumptions about what they want, what they're trying to say. And this is a very common thing that's in Japanese advertising. It's more fashionable in Japanese advertising to be less specific a lot of the time. Not always though. Like there's a famous Meiji, the Meiji milk, Meiji gyunu, that's literally just called Oishi gyunu. Oishi gyunu. Delicious milk. They just write delicious milk on all their ads and everything on their cart, and that's their ad. Just like delicious milk. I mean, it's like, I don't know, their marketing person made a career out of that one. But a lot of the times what you get is stuff like this, where it's, you know, it's creating this kind of like, it's like showing you the like limitless possibilities of what it could be by asking you to make assumptions about what they want to say, I guess. And this is something that's very common in like Japanese communication in general. I might be overthinking this just a little bit, but you know, this is something that's very common in Japan where by leaving the ending of sentences kind of ambiguous, it's more polite because you're inviting the other person to kind of like make assumptions about what you're trying to say, and it comes across as less forceful. An example of this is like if you want to ask for something, you know, like you would say like, I want to do this, but ... but you would never say like, but actually this, or like, you know, you would say like, これやりたいんですけれども, you like leave on end on ですけれども, but like you would never actually say specifically what you want because that just comes across as like way too direct. You know, if you guys want more specific examples of that, leave a comment for me and I'll write some specific examples. Difficult to think on the fly there, but that is a very, very common thing that's done in Japan in general, and especially when you're like, you know, if you're at a restaurant and it's like, oh, I made a reservation. I took a reservation, but, you know, you don't actually say it. You don't say the ending because it's too strong. I don't know. I don't know if it's like actually too strong, but it's just something that everybody does here. It's always, you kind of are like you're pitching something that like is obvious that other people should be able to pick up on. And then it's their job to kind of take the bait and go, oh, this must be what you mean. And it's just kind of a way to like smooth over communication. This is very important in business and everything, especially if you're trying to pitch to somebody. It's very important in Japanese that you don't pitch directly to people. If you say like, this is amazing and you should try it or whatever, it's like it comes across as way too direct here, and it seems like it must be a scam or there must be some kind of catch or it must be something. I mean, I guess if somebody came up to you in English, it's like, this is amazing, like you'd be like kind of taken back too. But even like anything, like it's a very interesting situation when you go into like job interviews and different things where you're supposed to like talk about your strengths, but you want to do it in a way where you're downplaying yourself, but you also want to come across as confident, but you don't want to be too confident, and you want to like, you know, you want to talk about hard facts of things you've done, but you also want to show your personality, but you don't want to be pushy. And it's like a very fine tightrope that people are walking all the time in Japan. And yeah, I mean, like everyone's always a little bit stressed out about it. It's just kind of the way things are done here. At the same time, it's nice to live in a country where people, you know, are considerate about the way other people are feeling around them to that extent, and they're always kind of thinking about yeah, how their actions are affecting other people. So it's definitely a double-edged sword, but yeah, it can get pretty intense sometimes with that. So yeah, I think that, you know, this idea in general of, you know, kind of like, I talked in my last video about how if you want to speak Japanese well, it's not good enough to be able to just kind of translate what you want to say from English. You have to think about how people are actually going to say it in Japanese. And you need to kind of adopt the way people are thinking in Japanese. So example, if if you went up to somebody and you're like, I want this, it's just like, whoa, like it's way too much. But you need to think about that, like, oh, desu like, can I do it? I just thought that was so funny. That whole like you want to say what you want to do, but you can't say it too directly, and because you're like, you have to wait for the other person to respond, right? And I remember when I first moved here 10 years ago, I was with the girl I was dating at the time, and we were returning movies to Japanese Blockbuster to Staya. And I was like, how do I return this? And she's like, oh yeah, go up there and say like, I had these movies, but ... And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I just like have to wait for them to try to like understand what I'm saying. And she's like, yeah, like that's the most natural way to do it in Japan. And like, I was like, okay, like this isn't going to work. Went up and they instantly just got it. Like, okay, blah, 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 I thought that was so funny because it's like, what if they never, what if they don't listen to you? What if they don't accept like what you're trying to say, or like they don't get it, and like how is that's going to cause so many problems? 99% of the time it just works in Japan because that's just the way things are done here. But I did see, I wish I had it, guys. I mean, I think I did take a screenshot of it or something, so maybe I can add it in if I find it, but or maybe I'll add it in the comments if I do find it. But I actually did see there was a Japanese comedian who was making fun of this last month or something. I saw an Instagram thing of them, which I thought was so funny. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I've been saying for 10 years. Like they get it too. So it's definitely something that Japanese people think is funny too at times. But yeah, that definitely is a thing. And especially I feel it so much since moving to Tokyo. I lived in Kansai. I lived in Osaka for 5 years. And there was a lot of that. I mean, I was living in Osaka when I eventually had that experience of the Japanese Blockbuster. But so there's definitely a lot of that in Osaka too. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of that too. But it's even more so in Tokyo. I mean, it's just kind of a Tokyo stereotype that people are very kind of aloof and cold. And they really have this expectation that you're going to communicate in these kind of indirect ways. Not as much as Kyoto, mind you, but I do feel it since coming to Tokyo. But yeah, I've had to, kind of, especially since COVID and everything, I feel like there's been a shift towards more of that kind of thing, more indirect, there's more of this. And it's been it's weird. I feel like I have two distinct periods in my mind of like talking about living in Japan because of that, because I moved here right when the pandemic started. It's just completely separate. But yeah, guys, if you are interested in these kind of like cultural linguistic things, if you're interested in these kind of videos where I talk about linguistics and culture, my own personal experiences, maybe some mental health in Japan, introduce different aspects of Japanese culture, then I'd really appreciate you subscribing to the channel and liking the video. I appreciate your time and watching the video either way, and I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are. Oh wait, I said it too directly. There's the subscribe button, and well, it'd be cool. I'm not gonna say it. Did you know there's a subscribe button? Thanks, guys. Have a great day or night. Bye.